Hey guys, Robbie. I got a special guest here to say something.
Greetings, this is Wonder Woman. You are watching Pros versus Noobs.
Actually, Wendy, that's supposed to be Pro teaches noobs. I know you like you like to do fighting and everything, but not everything's always.
And today, this is Azula from Avatar The Last Airbender. We're going to teach you how pros do things. They do it better than their brother. They're about to celebrate becoming an only child.
Yeah, I hear you say that a lot, Azula.
Yeah, noobs are just twerps and they all need to go to bed. They sure are. I can't stand a noob. You know who's a noob? Billy from The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I can't stand that guy. But he is my best friend, so whatever.
Oh, way to go, Mandy. So, yeah. What they said. Welcome to Pro Teaches Noobs. Welcome to another Let's Pro Teaches Noob, and the first of a bit of a crossover project. I mean, I know Pika and I have done a bunch of other video collaboration, but this one's going to be more of an actual direct crossover where we do something here on my channel, and then I'll be involved with helping him out on the other video on his channel as we're going over Justice League Gods and Monsters.
Yeah, it's something to go over in talking about the potential it had and how it was then dropped.
Yep, because the interesting thing about this is, one, you guys know I'm a big Elseworlds fan, and that's what this was. They decided to actually go full in with a full-on Elseworlds, something that was radically different from everything. And I wish they did more of these.
Yeah, this is also brings up that thing that I brought up in some other video earlier, or much time that difference between the thing that makes it so that it's not that makes it be a multiverse story or an Elseworlds story is that if it's a parallel timeline, it's where things went differently.
That's the what if option, the divergence.
Yeah, and then there is parallel universe where things are different.
That's what an Elseworld is. An Elseworld is more that. It's more, I mean, yes, the Elseworlds can also have the divergent what if stuff, but it's been more or less the radically different.
Yeah, like something happened differently way back in time instead of just in somewhere at a recent point.
Or just the world was just completely different in itself.
Yeah,
like if it's just like the JLA, no, you have to say JLA the nail. What if the Kents got a flat tire and they didn't, so he was found by the Amish? But then you also have Superman, Batman Generations, where the whole world is basically working on in real time.
Yeah.
Things like that, very different. But this one, and this was the first one where they actually decided to go whole cloth, make their own story. Not adapt an Elseworld, but tell their own universe. And for example, right now, where the books we're going to be over are the prequel stories, the individual characters of the Trinity, which are Man-Bat, a version of Superman that's pretty much Zod's kid instead of Jor-El.
Chris Kent or Lord
Zod, all intents and purposes. And what was her name of the new gods? Becca. Becca was Wonder Woman, who was Orion's wife. Although even in herself, we'll see how radically different it is. But yeah, it was Man-Bat being more of a vampire as opposed to, so he is more Batman than he is Man-Bat. Just more of the bat than the man.
Yeah.
But without going full on, monster creature. But yeah, so we'll start with that. With J.M. DeMatteis and Bruce Timm on the story and script by J.M. DeMatteis, who did work a lot on the DC animated universe.
Yeah. Most like what we covered in Superman Red Son, which I...
Oh, look at this. Batman designed by Darwin Cook. He designed them. He designed the characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, since I've changed, the city looks different to me. Darker, more twisted, radiant with evil. It's as if my new abilities have allowed me to see beneath the skin of reality and peer into Gotham's black heart. But is it Gotham's corrupted soul I'm seeing? I've had it, you hear? I've had it! Joseph, please, you're drunk. You don't know what you're saying. Damn right I'm drunk. Only choice a man has when he's married to a woman like you. You don't love me. You never love me. Always running behind my back, giving my hard-earned money to your lazy sisters. You know that's not true. That's just the booze talking. It's shut your damn mouth. Or am I just projecting my own corruption out onto her? And in the end, is there any difference? No, Joseph, don't hit me anymore. Hit ya? Nah. I've got me some better ideas. Please don't. Believe it or not, I can actually smell it. What the hell? Not just the scent of blood pulsing in your veins, but the scent of your stupidity, the mindless brutality that drives you to abuse a woman whose only mistake was marrying you. First of all, this also makes it clear not only there are changes in how the characters are, but the world in itself.
Yeah.
Like the
Trying
fact
to figure out
yeah.
who are these original characters? Are they supposed to be representing some existing characters?
I don't think so. I think these are just sort of random Joe, Joe and Jane. But yeah, that's what called me here tonight, and that's what makes me. And already it's doing it.
Oh, that sucks.
This is gonna be tedious.
On.
Like so very, very hungry. And look, she doesn't even care. I mean, I don't blame her. I do not blame her whatsoever.
Yeah, it's kind of like the shock and relief are clashing and with each other.
Oh wait. You killed him, you bastard. You killed him. I saved you from that sick animal. And this is how you repay me? You're as bad as he is. You don't deserve to live. You. Oh, he stopped like. For all the insanity and abuse she endured at that monster's hand, she loved him. So I guess you could say that's her not reacting, but then it dawns on her and she still, again, like he said, she still loved them. It's one of those unfortunate
it's probably
things.
like in those two panels, you would say that her psyche was buffering.
Yeah, and then it kicked in. But yeah, I could see it in her eyes. The hopes, or perhaps a delusion, that her love could redeem him. That she could somehow ignite the spark of good was in his soul. And what if he was a good man once? What if he suffered? What if he broke and fell into darkness? And what if with her help he could have found his way back into the light? There's a monster in this scenario. It's me. I could keep lying to myself, pretending that I came here tonight to help, but in my heart I know that I only came to feed. Maybe I should have just given in to the lymphoma. Let it take me. But Kirk Langstrom is a man of science, and science never gives up. So I searched for a cure and found it, not realizing that I exchanged one deadly disease for another. So in this case, instead of his hearing, it was lymphoma. So that explains why he would do a different type of handling with the bat genetics.
Ei jumalauta, it just dawned on me.
What?
This version of Batman as Kirk Langström it's Morbius.
Yep, it's Morbius, but different enough that the hunger to survive has become a hunger for blood. Without it, the cancer will come back. But is a life like this even worth living? Oh, so it didn't cure him. Okay, I like that idea.
Yeah,
it gives more reason to why he has to do it than just the hunger. It's to keep the cancer back.
Kind of like the superhero movie with the hourglass.
Yep. Do we have to watch this stupid show? Every week you complain. Every week you sit here for the whole hour. You ask me, I think you like it. Oh, nobody asked you. Fact is, Mom, Dad, I'm home. And hope you don't mind me showing up without calling, but it gets like, ugh. He still hates me. He doesn't hate you. He's just confused by you. And so he pretends I don't exist. Your father's too old to change, Kirk. He wanted a son who'd be like him. And what he got was a boy more interested in cracking genetic codes than repairing carburetors. You think all the the scholarships that got him you would have made him proud. But Edward's a simple man. Your world, that's foreign to him. He doesn't understand. But you understand. I need you to know you can't stay, Kirk. I'm so sorry. but you have to leave. And what would I have told her if I'd stayed? Mom, I'm kind of a vampire now. And the other night, for the first time, I didn't just rob a blood bank or siphon off some homeless person's blood while they were sleeping. No, I murdered a man. And with this awful hunger inside of me, Kirk, I know I'm going to kill again. Kirk Langstrom, I thought Ellis, Nebraska had seen the last of you. Disappointed? No, delighted. It's great to spend time with you again, Francine. Oh, reminds me of that, and reminds me that I left behind something of value in this town. Never forget your first girlfriend, huh? That didn't exactly work out, did it? To say the least. But I got a best friend out of the deal. Though I think I came out ahead in the end. Look, Francine, I'm sorry I never kept in touch. You know, Langstrom, if it was anyone but you holding the hands with my wife, I'd be worried. But you always preferred the bronze to the brains. Knock it off, Harv. I think I'd better go. Sit back down, dude. Let me buy you a beer. I don't think so. Come on, don't get bent out of shape. I was just having some fun with you. You know, like the old days. The hell with the old days, Harv. And the hell with you! Oh, all I ever wanted from this damn town was to fit in. But to them, I was always the outsider, the freak. I guess some things never change. Home again, if you can call a makeshift laboratory in the basement of a condemned building home. That trip to Ellis made it painfully clear that I'm too dangerous, too unpredictable to be around people. So I'm going to stay here, me and the hunger. I won't hold it back, but I won't let it out either. Maybe, just maybe, if I hit away long enough, hours, days, weeks, whatever it takes, it'll burn through me, burn out, and I'll be free of it. Ah! It's gonna happen more frequently.
Yeah.
But what do you think of it so far?
Another diverging point in the past in the
multiple, yeah.
Before, what stopped this version of Kirk Langstrom from marrying Francine like in the mainstream?
Free. You'll never be free. That's not true. The hunger isn't inside you, Langstrom. That's not true. It is you. That's not true. Embrace what you've become. That's not true. Not a man, but a thing. A creature of the night. Oh, look at that. With the others. So well done. Again, there's a lot of good in this, isn't it? Like, you really, I mean, I get why they did it as a comic prequel, because you couldn't get all this in the movies.
Nee.
But the fact that Bruce Timm put a lot of thought into all of this.
Sure. That's kind of sad that it didn't get much forward with the other potential there could have been.
Exactly. Now, all this is just a three-parter that makes up one full comic issue. That's why it feels like it's going through so fast.
Hey.
I let the hunger lead me into the darkest corners of Gotham, where I seek out the criminal maggots that eat away at her. The funny thing is, he does talk a lot like Batman, just differently. In fact, given how we went over the vampire Batman stuff, there's parallels. Not exact similarities, but parallels.
Yeah, although considering how he was in the movie, he was voiced by the guy who played Dexter. It would probably he would have there would be the same dark passenger underlines with that. Yeah.
And again, there was just so much interesting with this movie. That was that was Michael C. Halls.
Yeah,
who voiced him. Yeah, Dexter, yeah. And the Batman strikes again. Third attack in 1 week. These are men without conscience, without morals, ruled by greed and a need to dominate and abuse the decent people of this city. Monster or savior? I will say this, though, again, comparing this, I can't help but compare this to the Vampire Batman. And I gotta say, this is what I feel if we got, and because I get the tragedy of that Vampire Batman. But if they ever went back to that as an Elseworld, they should do it more like this.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to going for the monstrous version, because we saw what happened with the Countdown one shot. It was a mess.
Nee, they just went to the Batman's a vampire. Okay, he's a monster as a vampire, but instead of
Made him a villain.
Convergence at the very least managed to fix it up, bring it,
Yeah.
rail it back to what it was.
But you kept it a limited
supposed
thing, though, where he's doomed to die. I'm saying if you want an ongoing version of Batman, it should be like this. Keep it to him going after the criminals, but never innocents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's pretty much how it was in Crimson Mist, but even then it was because he had been 5 years in the crypt, being a whole
becoming skin and bones.
Yeah, it was like a lot of compensated hunger that he was.
Exactly, and but here, this is what they should do. But yeah, rumors soon spread about me and growing the myth. In time, the media gives the myth a name, and I approve. Kirk Langstrom is dead. Long live Batman. They're all waiting in the conference room. Oh, Mr. M, I tell myself that what I'm doing is right, that in my own way I'm serving the greater good, transforming my curse into a blessing. But there's a part of me that doubts, that looks at my great crusade as a rationalization, an excuse for letting the monster inside me run free. And maybe it is. Thank you, Joe, but it seems you forgot one little detail. See to the janitor. Hey, you, go clean up on another floor. If I don't finish my work here, I can get fired. I said, go. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Don't thank me. Just get the hell out of here. I like that because they say it's secure, but they don't kill the guy. I do like that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, they're bad, but they're not that bad.
Yeah, not to mention they're not stupid, because leaving bodies behind would be just another mess to clean up, and they would have gotten rid of a good cleaner.
Exactly.
Potentially good cleaner, as far as they know.
Yep, but when I find myself hunting vermin like Lou Moxon, all doubts disappear. Tonight, all the families come together. Tonight, we assess the strike. So basically, they're trying to work together. Oh, and we begin with my oldest, dearest friend, Rupert Thorne.
Oh.
And so they assess the strides they made and contemplate our failures. So they're looking at him as a failure. But yeah, obviously Bruce Timm's going to bring back Rupert Thorne. Obviously.
That's the character they worked within.
Yep. We started out together as kids, didn't we, Rupe? Ignorant, reckless children, but together we conquered this whole damn city. I conquered it, Rupe, and brought you along for the ride, which is why I'm so disappointed you. Disappointed? Why? Because you betrayed me by skimming prostitution profits. My process. It was nothing, Lou. Small change, betrayal's never small, Rupe. Now go on. You know what to do. Bam! Really? At least this is going by. At least these are shorter.
Yeah, some silver lining in that sense. Kind of weird how the character models that we have on the trying to compare this Thorn to the other Thorn.
Well, obviously it's a different universe anyway. Excellent. Yeah, now let's adjourn to the other room and even have a bite.
Similar.
Yep.
Different but similar.
Yep. Monson has evaded arrest for years, living life above the law. But tonight, what the hell? I'd recommend a honey glazed chicken. It's delicious. Hot lasagna's not half bad either. He comes crashing down to earth. It's the damn Batman! Kill the son of a bitch! Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm already dead. Time for you to join me. Schlick! And then it's down to 2. Mox and his lapdog, a smirking psychopath named Joe Chill! Well, to be fair, who knows what did they ever explain what happened to the Waynes in this world?
Nope. They don't even I don't even recall if Wayne Enterprises was ever even referenced or shown in the background.
I don't think so. So in a way, without killing the Waynes, who knows? It seems like they're going with the version of Joe Chill that was more higher up the food chain or moved up the food chain, like some versions of the comics.
Yeah, or they pretty much did the whole went Tim Burton and decided to make Joe Chill and Jack Napier the same person. Considering what happens later.
That's true. I could use a man like you. Hell, I could use 100 of you. So name your price. All I want, Moxon, is your blood. I'll have yours first. Oh, I've studied up on you, Joe. Born with a genetic disorder, biological time bomb. So afraid of death that you spend a lifetime hiding and sending others to the grave, hoping that they take your place in hell. Bad news, Joey. It didn't work. What are you? Uh-oh. I wish
So
I
he-
knew. So yeah, he moved.
Did he just bite once and didn't?
Bit him in the chest too.
So didn't cry out, and so it's
Yeah.
wanted.
God, our Father, your power. But yeah, at the funeral, I come to Mox's funeral to study the underworld insects swarming around his grave, hoping to take his place. Their faces are massive false grief. Their words of consolation and regret are finely honed lies. But for two people, the grief appears all too real. Moxon's wife, Angela, and his son, Jeremy. I know that Lou Mox was a monster, that what I did was right. And yet, witnessing their anguish, I feel ashamed, and I can't help but wonder. If my own family would mourn me with such heartfelt sorrow, would my father even come to my funeral? Angela and Jeremy confuse me, disturb me. How could they grieve for a man like Lou Moxon? I learned that the wife is a devout Catholic who spends her days immersed in charity work, unable, more than likely unwilling, to admit that her husband was anything but a hardworking, honest businessman. And the son, by all accounts, Jeremy has no connection to his father's organization. A senior at Yale, double majoring in biochemistry and literature, a classical musician, a gentle soul, in short, and everything Lou Moxon wasn't. And yet they loved each other. I just can't wrap my head around that. How could a monster love that and like that no love? And how could a man like Jeremy, too intelligent to nurture illusion about his father's business, love the monster in return? The question gnaws at me, obsesses me, and I find myself stalking Jeremy Moxon in hopes of finding answers. I watch as he nurtures his mother, putting aside his own pain to soothe hers, mourning alone in silence, tears watering his father's grave. In the weeks after Lou's funeral, the media vultures circle around the family, and Jeremy handles them gracefully, with as much honesty as the situation allowed. And I study him, pondering the paradox of his life. I grapple with the biggest question of all. How could a figure of such towering evil raise a man with such compassion and decency? That self-portrait always haunted me. The anguish of Van Gogh's face, the demon he wrestled with day after day, and yet he brought such beauty to the world. I think there are some things in life and we're not meant to understand. And in the end, I think the mystery is a kind of grace. And just like that, everything changes. Uh-oh! Hold on, I gotta double check one thing. I'll be right back.
Okay. Gonna play.
You know, I'm always having some of the Pro Teachers Noobs playing offline on other accounts in the background. You know which one's playing right now? Gossip by Gaslight.
Huh.
I kind of I run. That was our first one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
back when I still had the different hat and lived in my previous apartment.
Yep. But yeah, anyway, so let's see how this gets wrapped up. Uh-oh. So, why do I speak to him? Perhaps I'm driven by a curiosity, a need to understand this paradox of a man. Again, I like this. It's very different from Bruce, and yet similar. Would you agree with that?
In the sense.
Yeah, but I suspect my own terrible loneliness has as much to do with it. My parents turned their backs on me. I haven't known real friendship since college, but with Jeremy, I found the simple human connection I've been longing for since my transformation. And in reconnecting to humanity, I've been able to cage the monster inside me. It's been weeks since I fed on a living being. And if robbing blood banks isn't something I'm proud of, it certainly beats murder. You're knight. Really? Amateur move, Kirk. And you're no amateur. If I didn't know better, I think you were throwing the game. Is something wrong? You've been distant and distracted all night. Kirk, there's something I have to tell you. And I do tell him about the cancer, the bloodlust, the sickening, shameful things I've done. And to my astonishment, he not only believes me, he accepts me without hesitation, with genuine compassion. We begin working together to find a cure. His knowledge of biochemistry rivals mine. For the first time, I actually allow myself to hope. But I can't help wondering if Jeremy would be helping me with such enthusiasm if I told him everything, if he knew that I was the man who killed his father. Well, that was a hell of a night in the lab, and it was just the beginning. Give it time, Kirk, and I know that well. Mother, they killed her. You know who did this? Get your damn hands off me! How do I know you're not working with them? How do I know you're not? I'm sorry, Kirk. I didn't mean that. If there's anyone in this godforsaken world I trust, it's you. Ow! I know. And if you know who's behind this, you've got to tell me. I didn't want to involve you. I'm your friend. I'm already involved. The mob believes that my father kept scrupulous records of his activities to keep the other bosses in line. Names, dates, details on where the bodies are buried. And did he? No! But they think it's true. And they think I know where those records are. Those animals murdered my mother to send me a message. Then it's time to send a message back. The hunger burns again. And I welcome it. I hide Jeremy away in my lab and begin to hunt. It takes weeks of crawling through Gotham's underworld, sorting through rumors, half-truths, deceptions, and fabrication. By the time I learn about the two crime lords battling to take Lou Moxon's place. One of them remains a mystery. The other one, the man who killed Angela, calls himself the Sovereign, and it's said he imagined himself the modern equivalent of a medieval monarch, uniting Lou Moxon's fragmented kingdom under his command. Come in, Batman. Impossible. I've been expecting you. That's right, Joe Chill. I'll give you a minute to pick your jaw up off the floor while you try to work that one out. Impossible! But there'll be time to ponder impossibilities later. Right now, I've got to stop him before he does what he does to Jeremy, what he did to Angela. Whack! Interesting, huh? Bullets don't seem to have any effect on me. Considering that when I was born, the doctors told my idiot mother I wouldn't make it past 30. I really ought to thank you. Turns out getting murdered by the Batman was the best damn thing that ever happened. And, next to you whacking Moxon, I always planned on taking that arrogant jackass down. Bastard thought he owned me, but I knew in the end, I'd own it all. He's stronger than me, faster, and out of his damn mind. Oh, there we go again.
Yeah, this vampire Joe Chill is pretty much the Joker of the story.
Pretty much. And now to end where we began. Now I'm gonna feed on you, and then I'm going after Moxon's brat. No, I don't care if you kill me. Hell, I'm better off dead. But you're not gonna hurt him. You haven't been paying attention, Bats. You made me unstoppable. Let's taste that hypothesis. I tell myself it's the only way, and I pray to God I'm right. Hello, Jeremy. Kirk, where the hell have you been? I haven't heard from you in weeks. I've been studying Joe Chill, or what's left of him. Turns out he's quite the anomaly. Something incredibly rare in his genetic makeup. The very disease that plagued him since childhood is what allowed him to survive my attack and absorb the Batman antibodies into his system. But that means Chill might hold a key to the cure. I'm not interested in the cure anymore. I've lost my faith, my hope. Why? Because of what you had to do? No. Because of you. What are you? While I was dismantling Chill's organization, I discovered the truth about the rival crime boss Joe was trying to stop. You were always part of Lou Moxon's corrupt world, weren't you? Groomed from birth to take your father's place. The pure and perfect son was just a cleverly crafted illusion. And this shocks you, sickens you? For God's sakes, you're a monster, and I accepted you, even knowing that you killed my father. You knew? Always, and I don't care. Together we can accomplish so much. We're the same, Kirk. Brothers. And I know you can never hurt me. Oh! He did hurt him.
But did it hurt him or?
I think he bit him like he did before. Yeah, he did. Right at the chest. See?
That still looks like it's through the bloody shirt.
True. Still, though, I gotta say, a bit rushed at the end.
Yeah.
But wasn't bad. And I to be honest, I saw that tragedy coming a mile away the moment the mom died. Did you?
Yeah, nothing good lasts forever.
But I gotta say, Superman was my favorite of the three because he was the most endearing. This was a case of nurture over nature.
And in this case, the nature was different, but nurture was
stronger.
Similar-ish.
Similar-ish, but still stronger. But it's similar to Batman Red and Superman Red Sun in a way. The dream. How many nights did my brother wake up? Confused and disoriented, feeling death all around him, feeling terror to the bottom of his soul. When he was younger, he'd wake me. Valentina, he'd say, hold me. And I would. But by the time he was 7 or 8, he was too proud to admit his fear. To him, that would be the same as admitting weakness. What he didn't understand, what he still doesn't understand, is that everyone is weak, vulnerable at some point in their life, is part of what makes us human. But even as a boy, Hernan never saw himself as human. In his own mind, he was something other, a strange creature fallen from the stars. And I know that there are millions of people in the world who would agree with him. They call him arrogant, unpredictable, dangerous. Yes, but despite the powers and abilities that allowed him to soar above us all, despite the unspeakable longing that pulled him up night after night towards the stars, his home and his heart were here, with us. What's it like, Hernan? And they still are. To fly with the angels. I'm sorry, Madre. I know I promised not to, but are you sorry? I don't think so. You're angry with me? No, mijo. I'm worried. The world can't know about you yet. You must keep your gifts a secret. How do you know they're gifts? She couldn't know. But my mother Rosa's face was so deep, so unshakable, that she believed with all her heart that God had brought Hernan into our lives for a reason. And that reason, she often told him, will be revealed in time. Now, so this is the case also where he got a bit more of a heavier religious upbringing than Clark would.
Yeah, because he was raised in the...
Well, again, it's be stupid to say he did it and Clark didn't get religion. But a lot of versions usually have it be Martha showed him religion, but let him make his own decisions.
Yeah, it's kind of in that sense also the middle it's part of the community in countryside where he grew up, but not as heavy-handed as in some aspects. That's why there are those secluded aspects like Hope County in Far Cry 5, where they made the whole cult around around the bad guy of Far Cry 5. But with this community where Hernan is raised at the religion is kind of more to the
right. And I should also point out this was also written by Alan Burr. Or at least the movie and the shorts were also co-produced and written by Alan Burnett. So yes, you read 2/3 of the original Batman team. So again, no wonder this was all well thought out.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Becca was involved, because when Burnett did a Superman Batman arc, Becca was a big part of it. So I think Becca's his favorite. But anyway, but time moved too slowly for Hernan Guerra, and the mystery of his own past was too great a burden. Let me get back over. All he knew was that our parents had found him in a field somewhere. All he knew was that he had the powers of heaven, and yet his entire existence was on earth. The son of migrant workers whose lives were defied by unending work, constant fear and suspicion. But he was my best friend, and I was his. And despite the fact that I was 4 years older, I always saw him as my big brother. Valentina, look! Crap duster! Right, Rosa, children, cover up! The bosses didn't care that we were in the field as they sprayed their toxic chemicals. All they cared about were the crops. How many got cancer because of their arrogance? How many died? But that day we were saved by a 10-year-old boy who'd had enough of being treated like an insect. How many times have we told you not to use your power? Manuel, don't yell at the boy. Sometimes I have to yell to get through to that hard head of his. You'd rather I let you all choke out there, let you all be poisoned? Hernan, your life in the field isn't forever. We came to America for the opportunity. You'll have all the education I never had. You'll learn. You'll become something. America? What has America ever given us? Nothing. We're slaves here. You want a better life? I could give it to you. I could do more in one night than every worker on this farm could do in a week. But you're too afraid to let me. He's about to hit him. I don't think he did. Do you?
Would have been a backhanded swing if he was about to.
All right. My father had a hot temper and a huge heart. He threatened, but he never once hit. So he didn't hit him. He bellowed. He accused, but he always forgave. Still, we all knew, though we never said it, that if he had hit my brother, Hernan's impenetrable skin would have shattered Padre's hand. My parents had to wonder what would. So he was raised also knowing he was adopted. Like what would happen on the day when words weren't enough, when their son rebelled. Madre de Dios, the field, look at the field, all of it, harvested it one night, and dared them to stop him. Again, though, I like this. They don't go full on. For one, he's not evil Superman. He's anti-hero Superman.
Yeah, and even then there's the whole trying to raise him to be that.
Braised properly.
Yeah, and instead of doing the whole don't. There's the whole don't use your power, but it also could be. We have talked about this before. Jared has probably also said it before, but I always saw it as don't let others see you using your powers instead of don't use them at all.
That's fair. Which in this case he didn't.
Yeah, in that case, but everyone pretty much saw him going all.
Yeah. But he's still a boy then. But he was still a boy then, and his rebellions were small ones. Slow down, Hernan. I'm going as slow as I can. The world hadn't hearted him yet, and there was still hope in his heart, in both our hearts. Yes, the migrant's life was hard, but we found love in our parents' arms and happiness in each other's company. And I'll be a teacher and get married and have 4 children. We'll live in a big, beautiful house, and you sound like Padre with his talk of the American dream. And is dreaming so bad? It is. When you're nobody living in the dirt, stick with me, Valentina, and I'll take you places even your dreams can't reach. Fly me up there. You want to come up? Then you gotta climb. He knew I was afraid of heights, and I knew this challenge was his way of encouraging me to get over my fear. Hernan didn't understand boundaries and limits. There were none for someone like him, so he could never really fathom just how frightened, how unsteady I was as I scaled that tree. Every time I hesitated, he taunted me. And his taunts only made me more determined, and yes, more afraid. But what kept me going was knowing that if anything went wrong, my brother would be there to help me. Whack! And he never let me fall. Come on, Val, stop pretending. I know you're not. Valentina? Uh-oh. I never told my parents what really happened. I didn't want them to blame Hernan, and he never told them either because he was so ashamed. What if, he asked me one night, some part of me did it on purpose? What if there's a devil inside me? A monster? Oh boy, there's the religious upbringing coming into play.
Yeah.
And if I'm really some creature cast out of heaven, who's to say that and what terrible things I'm capable of? Oh, see, that's why you don't go heavy into the religious upbringing. You give him thoughts like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I knew better. When Hernan slapped that tree, shook the trunk, he was only playing. Oh, that's what he did.
I can understand what the metaphor was, or what metaphor he was trying to play as. Have dreams, work in trying to get them.
And you saw that. You saw that in her face. Look.
Yeah, maybe that slapping on a tree was gonna be okay. It's not gonna be that easy. There's gonna be turbulence. There's gonna be people fighting against you. You need to be able to withstand them while you climb.
And he's probably thought, oh, well, that wasn't that high of a fall.
Hey.
But I knew better. When he was only playing, trying to get me a little scared. I didn't believe for a moment that he'd ever want to hurt me. And for all that's happened since that day, I'd never doubted him for a moment. But things weren't the same between us after that. Every time he looked at me, saw me trapped in that chair, he saw his own guilt and shame reflected back at him. Hey, Hernan, you've been digging the same spots, staring into space for 20 minutes. Get your lazy ass in gear. Shut the hell up, Miguel. You want to shut me up, and Pendijo? You're welcome to try. And with guilt and shame. So then he enjoyed his powers, but after this, he's regretted it. The shame came crippling self-doubt after what he'd done. Yeah.
This is the restraint that Superman is also or Clark Kent is taught in growing up, in knowing when to not use his powers.
And I gotta say, I'm sorry. I have a feeling this was Tim's and Burnett's and Dan Mattea's take on what was done in Man of Steel. I have a strong feeling that's what they were going for here.
Yeah, but on the whole, there was the scene with the bullies. That was that one flashback where there were bullies, and all he did was bend that one fence post instead of when he could have done more, but just withdrew it and then the truck stopped.
But yeah, he couldn't trust himself to use his powers, and so he just shut himself down. The god, you got no guts, you know that? No guts at all, became a frightened man. But I gotta say, if a moment like this, I think this is how Man of Steel Clark would have reacted if he had hurt someone, even by accident.
Yeah.
Again, these are such in-depth characters.
Yo.
By the way, you and I obviously going to have to go over those shorts eventually, too.
Yeah.
Should that be a separate thing, or should that be combined when going over the movie? Like I said, I love the artwork here, don't you?
It's a good artwork.
Yep.
This actually looks like a earned kind of manga is stylish.
Yeah.
But you can see that different manga styles have been used or as an inspiration.
Yep. Hernan, don't do this to yourself. You know I don't blame you. I never blame you. Oh, this is immediately after. Please, Hernan, you've got to. Hernan, if he thought that ignoring me, all right, we've got a 500-mile drive ahead of us. Are you going to sit there with those headphones on the entire time, pretending I didn't exist would somehow alleviate his pain? He was wrong. But Hernan's acts of indifference caused me more pain than I could bear. Being in the chair was one thing, but being without my brother was torture. Hernan, I'm talking to you. You might as well talk to a wall. Please, he can hear a bird flap its wings in the next county. I know he can hear Kate and Domino's. What is it? What is it, Manuel? Up there! Hernan, do something! Stop the plane before it hits! Save those people! Hernan, don't just stand there! Fly to them before... Fly? My whole life you told me not to use my powers. The last thing I'd ever want to do is disobey my parents. If this happened in Man of Steel, I think would mortify Jonathan.
Yes, it definitely would. It's kind of like in the case of if it would have been like Park Kent in that situation, like but
I'm just saying this is the extreme, and like I said, this is what I think Bruce Timm is going off of. I think he's looking at it like this is what would have happened.
Yeah, but there was also the point that in the scene where there was the tornado scene where Park Kent was so limping, before he raised his hand, we could see that Clark at least took the first step forward. Like he was willing to go and save him before Park Kent just the hand and no.
So in other words, it wasn't as drilled. And obviously, Tim knew they had to take it a step further by having him be guilted into it.
Yeah. And not to mention this is also kind of different because in the Man of Steel there were witnesses.
That too. And that was the day I knew without a doubt that we'd lost him. There was a darkness in the depths of Hernan's soul that was rising up, consuming him piece by piece. The gentle boy I once looked up to became a moody, bad-tempered young man that feared. But beneath his fear, I still loved him. If only he loved himself half as much. Some nights he would go into town, wander from bar to bar, drinking till dawn. but because of his superhuman physiology, he couldn't get drunk. No, all he did, well, what do we got here? What are them wetbacks from the migrant camp? Was get angrier. We're sick of you all you taking jobs from real Americans. Go back to Mexico where you belong. And how do you stand like that? He ignoring us. But don't worry, boys. I know how to get his attention. Oh, shit. I didn't mean to do it, Padre. It just happened. It just happened before I could. I know, Hernan. I know. It's not your fault that God has chosen you to bear the burden of this power. And only he can guide you to God. Your God, if he even exists, is a sadist, a heartless animal who delights in torturing people. And shut up. The mom is the first one to hit him.
Yeah, blasphemous is not.
Hernan, forgive me. No, mother, no. You have to forgive me for all the terrible pain that I've caused you. It will be all right. It'll be all right, mijo. I promise you. I'll pray to Our Lady to help us find a way. If the Virgin Mary's going to help us, Rosa Maria, she better do it now. They're here, and they want Hernan. Those drunken morons told me some yarn about your boy burning Jack's face with magic beams from his eye. I don't believe that for a second, but he sure did something, and he's got to pay for it. Please, senor, what happened? It was an accident. Those men provoked my son, eh? I don't recall asking for your opinion, wetback. Now send the boy down here before this gets ugly. Oh.
I just noticed something. If there's a metaphor or allegory message that they're gonna do, it kind of goes on having a cake and eating it to a direction, because those drunkards who were throwing racist epithets at Hernan when he was walking by were not white.
You're right. Well, it's hard to tell with how dark it is.
Yeah, but the way it's drawn, the buzz cut, and the shading, they were not.
Yeah.
Not to mention, if these are supposed to be racist cops, they are standing up to black people.
Now, I will say this. One thing I do like also is these are legal migrants. Well, that's what they are. They're migrants. They're legal. They're there legally.
Yeah.
I'm glad they went that route, these are good-natured people who are doing what's best.
Yeah, that's good in terms of showing it. But then again, those cops don't look at it. It's a migrant. It's a migrant on something.
One way or another.
Yep.
Well, I got a premiere going on in the background, so I'm just making sure that's playing. Yep. Ingrid and I saw Garfield the movie. Yep. But yeah, you have no idea how ugly. Walk away. Forget this ever happened. I'm begging you. You got 10 seconds to get your ignorant ass off that porch, or we start shooting. Hernan, go back. Let Padre talk to them. Your sister's right. I'll straighten this out somehow. They won't listen, Padre. They'll never listen to us. Just go out and bam, before this gets any worse. And of course, and no, I just know now it goes zero. It goes to page 0 when it does that. Come on. Oh, doom! Stop! Are you blind, Valentina? This is the truth of Padre's America dream, his land of opportunity. They despise us, and they deserve to be slaughtered for all you've changed, and for all you've done. You're still my brother, and I still believe that you can make a difference in this world. But if you do this, Hernan, I swear to you, you won't be my brother anymore. The sheriff and his men ran, and okay, I do like it. Wait, let's finish this first. Who could blame them? And then slowly the other workers in the camp who've been watching from the shadows emerged. Some looked at my brother with awe, as if he was a long-awaited savior. Others gaped at him, terrified, certain that he was the devil. But all I saw was a confused and frightened boy who needed his family. Monstro, you cursed! And you brought a curse upon us! I want you out of here! Now! Manuel, no, you don't mean it! Father's upset, Hernan, and he's right. I can't stay here. I can't pretend anymore. I love you, Madre. I love you all. Goodbye. I like how at least he has what's the word? The trope name, the a morality pet.
Yeah.
I don't. They're not pets, but you know what I mean, though, right?
Yeah.
That's basically what they are, right? They
Yeah,
represent
they
his
were what
morality.
kept him from going too far.
Exactly. Even afterwards, they still are reminders to him to not go too far. And I do like that. That's smart. That is smart. But one more to go for this one, and then we got the Wonder Woman mini, and then the other one. So yeah, and then all of them teaming up. But yeah, so basically, this is what he starts to become more like he pondered, heading for the stars that had been singing to his soul for so long, but something stopped him. Fear, his attachment to us, the only world he'd ever known, whatever the truth, Hernan turned away from heaven and set his sights on Earth, exploring a country he'd lived in for 18 years but hardly knew at all. They were ugly months, he told me later, brutal. I became a man I didn't particularly like, yet he was secured, almost against his will, by our mother's faith and our father's ideals. Traveling for years across the planet, witnessing the best and far too often the worst of humanity. I see glimmers of light, he wrote in one of his infrequent letters, in these people, but there's always a darkness that overwhelms it. In time, he left the United States behind. Such suffering, Valentina, and it makes me feel so helpless. Again and again, I ask myself, who am I? What is my place in this world? What is my destiny? But I suspect it wasn't all suffering and anguish questioned. My brother developed a taste for the high life, food and women and soft beds. Never once in all that time did he use his powers, not until that day in Mexico. It was inevitable that he would go there, seeking a sense of cultural history, of belonging, but instead of finding himself, my brother lost everything in a sad collusion of sensual indulgence, self-loathing, and despair. Oh, hold on a second.
Senor, it's morning now. We have to close the bar. We have to leave. Yeah, back when I was working as a bouncer at a certain nightclub restaurants, having people leave, that was always a struggle. Especially when I have been fair most of the night with everyone there. And then when the light came up and people were given the 30 minutes to leave, they always did it damn slowly. I kept telling them, we're closing in 30 minutes. You need to leave. And they just, yeah, we're leaving. And they weren't leaving. It was almost like last 5 minutes when they started to empty the place. That's damn annoying. And not to mention that place, it was just at one point when there was the street right outside this one bar. That also had to be somehow, for some reason, I don't know why, but that had also had to be vacated because that's still counted as part of the bar area or the restaurant area. It was those were those nights. And Robert, when you go through this, there's one story that I told while you were away doing something. But yeah, telling someone to leave, that's telling people, being the bartender that, okay, we're closing, leave, come back tomorrow when you're sober and have money, and so on and so on. Insta. Joo, toi totta äsken. Mitä? Nyt tuli varoituksen maksaminen raasi.
Hero 24. Kuka välitetään ennakkomaksuista ja kehottaa arvioimaan kauppiaan luettavuutta. Tähän neuvontaan on tullut useita tapauksia, ennakkomaksuja ei ole palautettu. Ennakkomaksuja vaan luottokortteja muutos. Valmismatkoissa talopaketeissa suurissa ennakkomaksuja on tullut. Ennakkomaksuja kulut. Sitten kuluttajana kannattaa arvioida ennen maksamista. Ennakkokaupassa. Ennakkoon tilauksen yhteydessä myös verkkokaupassa maksetaan alempina laskuilla. Jos voi jäitä kanavaa. Maksua. Mulla on tavalla. Lisää. Iskee esimerkiksi juuri verkkopalvelussa on yritys saa tulla yksin tavaroiden. Jokainen. Palvelut ja niitä 80 ilmoitusta eri vastaisuudesta. Yritys ei toimita tavaroita tai palveluita. Kyseessä on selkeä rikomus. Kuluttajalla on mahdollisuus periä saatavia myös oikeusteitse, vaikka harva kuluttaja lähtee. Yrityspatien maksuja ja propia hinnasta maksetaan. Yritystaloudellisesti vaikeuksia maksanut esimerkiksi pankkisiirrolla, että kuluttaja menettää rahansa ja yrityksiä maksanut.
Some news. This is exactly what happened when I tried to buy shoes from JD Sports. Ordered them from the shop and then paid there, had the receipt and never got.
What were you talking about?
Reading some news about warning about paying methods stealing people's money.
Oh, anyway. Sorry, but yeah. We have to close the bar. You have to leave. Leave? Go where? Home, senor. I don't have a home. They don't think I ever. Dios, no, and I do. What is it? What's happening? They attacked the school. Who? Ah! Come on, come on. His name was Juan Carlos Fuentes, a soulless sociopath that ran the biggest cartel. Yep, that's what do it for him. But yeah, they kidnapped a young girl, and he stole more than a dozen children, including the sons and daughters of prominent reporters and politicians. I wanted nothing to do with any of it, Hernan told me. But then I saw a picture of the girl, and seeing her, look just like her. I saw you. Their camp was on the edge of a jungle, 100 miles outside of Mexico City. And I said to her, hey, chica, you say no to me and there's going to be big trouble for you and your whole damn family. And what'd she say? What could she say? She knows I'm with the cartel and nobody in their right mind would dare to. Wham! Oh. But yeah, like bam, 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 da, 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 da. Ooh, just look at that. Few men have ever been so wrong. Answer one question, I might reconsider ripping your head off. Anything. Where are the children? Don't worry, you're safe now. I've got you. I'll get you home to your families. I knew she would send someone to help us. I knew it. She? The Virgin Mary. He gazed at the tiny pendant, the image of the Lady of Guadalupe. So revered by our own mother, that he understood in that instant that it was time to come home. It was cancer of the pancreas. Rosa Marie was gone in weeks. We tried to reach her, Hernanin, but, Padre, I'm sorry. So am I, mijo. So am I. I married into a good man, a mechanic, and I'm going to school to get my GED. A husband, a baby, a mortgage you can barely afford. Is this the American dream? It's the beginning of it. What makes you think it'll get any better? Because I have faith that it will. Just as I have faith in you. I saw what you did for those children, Hernan. You're the hero I always believed you would be. Hero? I slaughtered those men, Valentina, and I enjoyed it. And what would have happened to those little ones if you hadn't been there? You approve? No, but I know that it can be a dark world. And perhaps it takes a man who understands that darkness to make it a better one. And I pray every single day that as my brother steps into his destiny, he'll find a light that I've always seen, glowing so brightly in his heart. And stop looking at the damn phone and pay attention to me. And pay attention to me. I've been paying so much attention to you, Angela, that my whole body's sore. Now let me take care of some business before. What the hell? It will take time, I know, but we need him. God help us all. Hello, Fuentes. My name is Superman, and I'm going to change the world. Ah! We need him. Again, this is my favorite of them, because he's such a complicated character.
Makes me wonder. The press gave Langstrom the Batman name, so where did he get the Superman name? Is probably something that.
Yeah, it's fitting.
Because, yeah, mostly that it's in the main Superman's case, it was the people who gave him who gave him that name. He didn't start to go around calling himself Superman. People just saw him and called.
Prequel that he did, but not post. But now we got Becca.
Yeah, and it went to black on the first page.
Probably because it stayed loaded up for so long. 1962. Oh, hold on.
Anything specific about that year? Remember to edit these parts out when you get to it.
I will. If I remember.
Well, you're gonna go through it. You're gonna find a bunch of silences. Just cut those out.
I will.
Mostly when I have gotten given Jared cameos when he's talking about something relevant, I just also cut out the dead air and sometimes when he fumbles his words.
Boom! Yeah! Good action right off the bat.
Yeah.
I hear gentle words in an unfamiliar language, and awaken in an unfamiliar place. I grasp for memory, identity, a sense of self, but it slips away in a fevered haze. The woman comes closer, radiating a tenderness and compassion that instantly engenders trust. Wherever I am, whoever I am, I know that I'm safe. And in any kind hands, time passes, the fever recedes, and memory returns. I know who I am, Becca of New Genesis, granddaughter of Highfather. But where am I? I'm not sure. And a part of me likes it that way. After all I've been through, the nightmare I barely escaped on Apocalypse, the boom tube carrying me in an almost cruel randomness from world to world, the simplicity of this life and these gentle, decent people is like a soothing balm, healing wounds I never even knew I had. But as more time passes, I grow stronger, and with strength comes a restlessness that forces me into this new world. I look across the field, glimpsing a strange shadow. So basically, sees all this, sees one of the gods, other gods. What is it? The elephant one.
Neither of us is probably very versed in the cultural religion that we are not part of.
It's in India, though.
Yeah.
Oh, Ganesha.
Okay.
It's Ganesha. And telling me that there was a reason the sentient computer called the Mother Box led me across a dozen harsh worlds before carrying me to this place. She was searching for the planet that would give me shelter, give me hope. Perhaps here, the god seems to say, you'll find the golden age so long promised on New Genesis. Perhaps here, you'll find home. And if it is home, I have to explore it. But before I can do that, I have to learn more about this Earth. So Mother Box imparts a bracing history lesson, and I see that this is no paradise. There's beauty here, yes, but also barbarity. Incredible achievements and incredible brutality. High ideals and low savagery.
Should probably mention that our images are blocking the lower right corner.
Hold on a second. There's a quick sec.
1, 2, 3.
Not literally.
4.
Okay. If I thought everyone on Earth was as kind as the couple who saved me, I quickly disabused of that notion. And yet this duality of this world calls to me. Notice a parallel between these three.
Yeah.
Seeing the good and the dark.
Juu.
So I travel from overcrowded city to isolated mountains, from place of breathtaking natural beauty to war-ravaged wasteland. I observe the flow of life with both wonder and horror, never interfering in the events unfolding around me. And yet, as the months pass, an awful loneliness rises up, like a wave inside me, a need for companionship and something more. So she's in the 1960s by this point.
Yeah.
So the Cuban myth and the Cuban crisis and everything. Translation, kiss your ass goodbye, kids. Here comes Armageddon. I ought to take out Kennedy and Khrushchev, but they'd only be replaced by 2 more warmongering buffoons. Take them out. Lady, you're drunk. Totally. But if we're going to die tonight, let's not do it alone. A night of soulless passion didn't forestall Armageddon, but Kennedy did. He surprised me, proved he had the courage to make not just war, but peace. A year later, he was dead. So much for the peacemakers. And yet that brave and reckless man's murder reminded me of the dead I left behind and filled me with an illogical hope. Perhaps, I mused, it's time for me to get more directly involved.
And this one we just have pull.
But come on. But now it's in 1964. Ready to shoot them. We're getting Appetite boys coming down here from up north, stirring up all kinds of trouble. Trouble? We were registering people to vote. Exactly. And he ain't gonna be doing that, no. My wrist, crazy bitch broke my damn wrist. And I'll break every other bone in your body if you don't shut up. Any shutting up to be down here, I'll do. You put that thing down right now, woman, or what? Blam blam. Figured, oh man, killed him. Figured it's better to take care of them first before I take care of. I say the guy was smart but dumb.
Both at the same time.
Yeah. Like he decided to do the thing that they were trying to do and kill them first because he knew that's what she was here to stop. But then dumb enough goes, well, killed him. I don't know what disgusts me more, their hideous violence or my own. Again, really in-depth takes on the characters. Doing stuff that you normally wouldn't get from Superman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, they would
And
never
Batman.
write these characters into these situations.
Exactly. My attempts to be of service to humanity, no matter the nation, no matter the culture, always seem to end in blood and despair. And after what I left behind on Apocalypse, I had my fill of both. I needed to retreat, hide, find a measure of peace and balance, to pick up the delicate shards of my shattered hope, and at least try to put them back together. When I returned to the States, I found that I wasn't alone in my quest. Oh boy, the hippies! She was happy. No, get away! Get him away! Easy, Susie, just cool. It's all in your head. Nothing's gonna hurt you. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean they're not there. Dreamers seeking deeper dreams in dangerous ways, using chemicals to expand the perimeters of their mind, and often capsizing those minds in the process. Are you one of them? One of the demons? No, but I've encountered my fair share of demons, and I know how to make them go away. Help me, please. Help me. Now, part of her powers is she can, if I remember right, let me double check what her powers are. Hold on. I remember she was able to heal, but in doing so, Come on, okay. Heal. If I remember right, her healing can also still lead to someone falling for her.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what
That's what happened with Batman before.
you.
Yep. Susie, geez, we've been looking over you. She okay? She will be. Thanks for helping her. She freaked out like this before, and it's taken us hours to get her down. Those substances you ingest are toxic. Not if you know how to make them. If she dropped some of my acid, we'd be fine. Much like the people of New Genesis, these young ones adopt colorful names. Susie Sunshine, Guitar Joe, and Dr. Psycho. Oh, dear.
Oi, oi, oi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but and Joe did most of the talking. He was an idealist of the First Order, head filled with vision of the future. Oh boy, so they're meeting up again, helping out with these hippies and everything. Hey, we don't need your bad vibes bringing us down. She's right, Doc, up to a point. But here's the thing, Becca. We're trying to seal that gulf up at the farm, and I think we need someone like you to help us. So yeah, helping out, falling for Joe. Yes, there's a peace in the air, a gentleness that I've been missing for far too long. And I realize there's a bit of what Snyder had in mind, a little bit of her going from men to men.
Yeah.
But differently, obviously. It's not obviously nowhere near as old.
Yeah, not as old, but pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dr. Psycho's making his own lab. Seems like he's being combined with Dr. Poison a bit. Oh, bus get it off the road. Can I help? Don't worry, babe. I think the guys can handle this. What the hell? Once gets her word around, bitch, she's going to become a star to these people. Hope you can handle the competition, brother. Oh, and using the mother box and everything helps open their minds. To do it without the drugs.
Oi.
Yep, and it wasn't the crystals that did it, Susie. They were just the channel. The power's in you. More Harry started coming along on our journey. What was really going on in his lab? Oh, crap. What had he done to them? What had they become? Oh, geez, they're savages. He didn't do anything. They volunteered. For what? Experimental drugs. I'd hardly call locking them away in the basement like vermin his best. Before I came here, Becca, I was part of that corrupted world out there, working for the CIA project called McUltra. We use psychotropic drugs to experiment on humans without their knowledge or permission, all because they wanted to control people. But me, I want to set them free, bring them to the next level of evolution. This isn't evolution, this is a travesty. I keep them down there for their own safety. I won't rest till I get them healed. I healed them, but I not only healed them, but made them into gods. I know all about gods, Doctor. They're the same as the rest of us, only their flaws are significantly larger. Becca, I know we haven't been seeing the eye lately, but you have to believe me. Doc's onto something great. And together we can create a utopia. We can save your breath, Show. She doesn't share our vision. Damn right I don't. And that? Use the drug on her.
Oh. This kind of many cliffhanger point.
Different. Oh, that is the cliffhanger point. It's a real shame. What's happening? Where am I? Interesting Dr. Psycho, though.
Yeah. Able body version.
Seeing all of them again as like, I tried to save you all. But she's not seeing them. And I'll kill every last one of you. I don't know who dosed you, Becca, or where you got that sword, but I know you're a good person. And so please put that thing down. Let me help you. The way you once helped me. Aw, they broke through.
Huh.
Where are they? Where are who? Tell me the truth, Psycho, or I'll pull out your magic sword and lop off my head. That's why I packed up the lab and moved my burnouts to someplace safe. After your freak out the other night, you can't be trusted. You're dangerous, Becca. They don't want you hurting. You did that. You and your damn drugs. You were hallucinating, babe. Saw a lot of weird stuff that never really happened. keep playing your little mind games, Doctor, but I swear to you, you okay?
Yeah. Yeah, it's dawning on the when you're looking at the power dynamic here.
Yep. Oh, there will be a reckoning. Oh, yes, there will. New Genesis. Hey, we're young. We've got time. This is a dream, Susie, and it passes more quickly. Uh-oh. Took one of her crystals that Mother Box created. Yep, it's open worlds. I mean, I barely scratched the surface. What about them? You think you could cure them? Cure them and turn them back into the pathetic lowlife they were before? No, I'm gonna transform my little burnouts. Oh, but my superiors at the agency got in the way of my work, and they paid the price for it. Oh, jeez.
Oi.
So, yeah. That isn't the more complicated story, isn't it?
Yeah, when you need to address all the parts in it and
I would say this is my least
and-
favorite. This is my least favorite of the three. I mean, I get where they're going with it, but at the same time, it just feels like it's not showing as much of the complicatedness.
Nee.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Oh, I knew I had to save him, save all of them. But as he battered me, as his bones cracked and flesh tore, blood pooled, I lost hope of finding a way. Then I saw the shard gleaming in his chest. Uses it to heal them. And the way was open. The gem cycle used to mutate them had been created by Mother Box, infused with my own hopes and highest dream. Its power may have been corrupted, but its essential nature remained a portal, not outward, not towards division, but towards oneness. So I used my heart connection to bring Joe and its connection to the others, to bring us all to a place of union and sacredness, beyond words. By the time Joe led me to where Psycho's lab had been, the doctor had long gone, every trace erased. So yeah, gone, but he chose to help be a bridge.
Yeah.
How could I when you'll always be in my heart? Again, these are really good.
You. Yeah, it's the potential that there could have been.
Yeah. I mean, I get why they couldn't shove all this into the movie. You couldn't. You really couldn't, could you?
Yeah, no.
The Eternity Institute. Nobel-winning physicist and notorious recluse of Jackson Albert. Despite all he achieved, the extraordinary advances in science, medicine, technology, Albert was never seen in public and avoided the media at all costs. That happens. Welcome, everyone. I know that some of you were expecting to meet me in person, but given my well-documented aversion to crowds, I'm afraid this holographic golem will have to suffice. I hear grumbling in the crowd, but I assure you, whatever disappointment you may feel will soon be washed away when you bear witness to the single most important moment in human history, the manifestation of a dream that I've devoted myself to for over 40 years. Yes, but but this is so much bigger than my life, my dreams. It's our shared dreams as a species that emerge in a day. So yeah, ready to reveal it all as the three people you're about to meet were once flawed and as broken, as full of fear and limitation as any of us. But now they've become something more, signposts to the future, the height of human evolution. They become the forever people. What Albert failed to mention that day was the price tag, millions of dollars to undergo the process, which meant that while the world's wealthiest had a shot at heaven, the rest of us were left choking in dirt. The girl's name was Ana Hernandez. She was 8 years old and she was in trouble. Stolen from her home in the dead of night, her innocence defiled, her soul crushed by a monster. But monsters sometimes come in unexpected forms. Ana, where'd you go, you little bitch? Adrian Jacobs owned a variety of hardware shops, volunteered at soup kitchen, and coached middle school softball, kidnapped and tortured little girls. No, you stay away from me. You stay away. So he's taken on the more Batman form.
Yeah.
What the Batman? But all the reason in the world can't justify what Jacob did to Anna. any more than they can justify what the Batman did to him. And we didn't know who he was then or what. Most of the reports about him, were as vague as they were confused. But we did know that he left a trail of dead bodies, most of them drained of blood in his wake. In time, we came to learn that he imagined himself as some kind of hero. I'm sure Anna's mother's Grace thought he was. Anna, oh my God, you're home. Oh, my sweet baby girl, you're home. But behind the hero's mask, he was just like Jacob, a monster. The woman was a different breed entirely. So this is where we're just getting introduced to each of them. Yeah. Becca, flying up, to save the news chopper and everything, utilizing her mother box and her own strengths. Doing all she can. They found holes in the other side of the chopper where it seemed she actually forced her fingers through the fuselage, the slowest descent. But minutes later, as the grateful pilot staggered out onto solid ground, she was gone. So she's keeping herself hidden.
Yeah.
And leaving every time she makes an appearance. Oh, you have to teach me how to work that boom tube one of these days. Damn, is that any way to say hello? Oh, to an old friend? What the hell do you think you're doing? Come on, Becca. You can admit that you're happy to see me. I'd admit if it was true. We're certainly happy during the week we spent together in Greece. Listen to me, Superman. Call me Hernan, and all my lovers do. That week in Greece was a distraction. I was thrilled to encounter another superhuman, to let my guard down and be myself for once. But 7 days of your insufferable ego was quite enough for me. Ego? Of course. Insufferable? Not a chance. Where do you stand on him having that ego as time went on? I think it makes sense.
Probably. It's kind of it didn't evolve into... Clark Kent didn't evolve any kind of ego when he was also doing his around
but
the world.
This one, given how he's embraced the darkness, that sometimes involves letting your ego in. Would you agree? Having until you find that right balance, you sometimes let your ego in, especially when you could do all that. And let's be honest, he did have a bit of an ego at the start.
Yeah.
Just because I'm the only woman who won't break in half when you take her to bed doesn't mean we belong together. I don't know how they met. All that did was prove we do. I'll be back, Princessia, and I suspect that next time you'll welcome me with open arms. Really? So I don't mind that they met and had a fling. That I don't mind because it makes sense for Becca.
Yeah, might as well have happened at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, and for Superman to have that ego, again, makes some sense. The first time I saw him up close was when the Nihilists and the Chaos Society went on a killing spree in Metropolis Central Station. No demands, no hostage, just blood and thunder. For the sheer sick thrill of it, I suppose we should be grateful that Superman arrived when he did. You and Cabra and Nozos made a very big mistake coming to my city. How many more would have died if he had interfered? Come on, don't just stare with your damn mouth hanging open. Shoot me, and like you shot them. I said shoot. That's better. I hope you know that your bullets have no effect on me, because I want you to understand to the bottom of your miserable soul there's absolutely no chance you'll get out of here alive. When the first of the survivors came pouring into the street, talking about the fine man who saved them, we knew who they meant. There were SWAT teams converging on us from all directions, but given the terrible screams we heard coming from inside the station, they may not be needed. There's a terrible stench in the air, like burning flesh, and look! Up there! It's him! It's Superman! The situation has been dealt with. You're safe now. The arrogant gleam in his eyes as he scanned the crowd, the smug entitlement, his voice as he spoke. This man, if he was a man, wasn't one of us, and he didn't want to be. That I could buy! Nowhere in there did it ever feel like he wanted to be human in his story.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. One look was all it took for my gratitude to evaporate. It wasn't just that he murdered the Nihilists with such cold efficiency. The police would have done the same. It was something else. His posture. Wait, why did you... Lois Lane? Oh, that's Lois? A redhead?
I mean, Elvis was a redhead, and the Injustice Lois was also a redhead.
True. And I want to know where you get the right to set yourself up as judge, jury, and executioner. Go inside, Miss Lane. Look at the amount of body the innocent people and the innocent people swimming in their own blood, and then tell me I'm wrong. This Superman was more of a danger to humanity than the bloodthirsty lunatics he killed. Because one day he get tired playing a hero. One day he turned on us all. I could believe this Lois thinking that.
Yeah, it's also kind of just thought about it. The way how it's thought about the posture and the way he carries himself and wasn't want. The Superman that we have in this is also kind of not so much different from Manchester Black.
Very true. Serious question, and I wasn't the only one asking him. Scientist Lex Luthor, foremost among them, were voicing their concerns. Yep, and he has hair, sort of. See?
Yeah, most cases it's the has
It's
hair
balding.
and then starts balding and.
Yep.
Well, maybe when a Superman there's the there's the different origins depend on if he is bald from the get go or if he is balding. Maybe the fact that he sometimes when he starts his rivalry with Superman he shaves it off as a showing of resolve.
Something like that. I think he just was sinning, and at least in post-crisis.
Yeah.
But anyway, President Amanda Waller. I like that.
Yeah.
A world that thinks our government created Superman in the first place. Come on, Jack. You're my national security advisor. Give me something. We watch him, Amanda. We study him. Search for weaknesses. And in the meantime, pray for a bigger crisis to come along and push him off the front pages. So meanwhile, in Brazil, there's more of the Forever people doing their own thing. Albert, one of his golems sailed from city to city with a team of his Forever people. His goal was to end the violence and prove his benign intention, assuring the people that, like all new technology, the price of upgrading would one day fall and be accessible to everyone. Interesting? I do like this idea of using Forever people, because Becca, as they're helping calm everyone down.
Makes you also wonder the one who created the Albert.
Yeah.
Is he based on some fourth world character?
Let me look. Come on. I'm hearing a pounding on your end.
Yeah, just tapping my fingers on.
That's what I thought. That's what. Jackson Albert. Oh! Wait till we get further.
Okay. It's gonna be revealed then.
Yep, for one, about who this guy really is.
Okay. Let's get up.
That's right. We've already seen him. And given his ability to make these Forever people, should tip off who he is.
Okay.
But yep. But then he has another identity as well, we'll see.
All right.
Come on. So yeah, they help save the day over there. Meanwhile, no, I fed enough. I can survive another day without more blood, without taking another life. I can survive. You care that you will. Hernan. And not easy, is it, Kirk? Have you come here to mock me? Of course not. I've come here to die. We've all got our hungers, Langstrom. Don't give in to yours. You don't know what it's like, don't I? Take a deep breath and let it pass now, Kirk. Because the last thing I ever want to do is put you down, like the mad dog some people claim you are. I'm sorry, Hernan. And I fight it every second of every hour of every day. I'm one to the point when we never see their first meeting.
Yeah, that's kind of sad, Harvey. Because naturally, it's probably left on the for
They
the
probably would have explained
imagination,
it.
but still,
Yeah.
the first impressions, those are kind of would have been nice to see those, and even in a few page or a half page flashback.
Exactly. Something I don't think I've come very far since the night you found me in the docks with a rat in my mouth. Okay, but at least they're telling us it.
Yeah, they said
Heck,
it
you're
in
a
the
good
movie
man.
too,
Yep.
if I remember correctly.
You're a good man, Kirk, and a brilliant one. But maybe it's time you had some more help. Meeting, what do you know about Jackson Albert? He's a constant topic when I was at GU. People either thought he was a visionary or a lunatic. But the truth is, we were all envious of his genius. You see what he's done with his upgrade tech? You think he can cure me? It's worth a chance, isn't it? You're talking about me or yourself. What? I know you, Hernan. You're drawn to these forever people. For the first time, there are others. Referencing Superman on New Genesis.
Yeah.
For the first time, there are others in the world on your level. Don't sell yourself short, and don't you condescend. You may be my friend, Hernan, but you've never viewed me as an equal. But these new gods of Alberts, they're not gods. No, but I suspect they think they are. You could say the same about me. The difference is that you were raised by poor, humble, decent people. Exactly the kind of people who are going to be washed away if Albert's new age takes root. But maybe so. I gotta find out more about these forever people. So do I. Again, now this is more like it with their characterization.
Yeah.
Again, I just love how they're just all shades of gray. But yeah, it's like, but yeah, he's heading over there to the Eternity Institute. And of course, Becca's there. Turn around and leave now, or you'll get a lesson of humility that's been years in coming. Oh, it's time for a lesson, all right. But I'll be doing the teaching. Well, of course, you care to prove me wrong. I would love to. That will be enough. Don't worry, love. With your healing capacity, that risk should mend itself in an hour. And in that hour, I'll break every single bone in your... Calm down, Becca. Believe it or not, I didn't come here to fight. I came here to learn. So if it'll make you happy, I surrender. Unnecessary, Superman. You're a welcome guest here. Not a very warm welcome. Wonder why many others weren't sent out to oppose you, so much as test your motive. I was hoping you could come to me, just as Becca did several days ago. But if you entered eternity as a friend, I can assure you that you'll be greeted as was. Considering what happened later, I can't help but wonder if he was happy to be united with others like him, or totally unnerved. Was he studying the forever people, hunting for any signs of weaknesses, and for the first time in his life, seeing weakness in himself? You've already met Saffron, Dreamer, and Moonrider. So let me introduce Bear, Vicken, and Sumo. All the other forever people.
Yeah.
These new names your people have taken. What's the point? I think you know the point. Or did your parents name you Superman? The media did. There's your answer.
Niin, mutta
Yep.
he still called himself Superman when he confronted Fuentes.
Yep. And you allowed it, embraced it. Names have power, so why let others label us? Each of my clients has been reborn. The men and women they were before no longer exist. And who we are, and who are we are who we are. Nothing can change that. I can. Even you and Wonder Woman, I suspect you both came into this world with your extraordinary abilities. But there's always room for improvement, isn't there? So you're saying that your upgrade process might even work on us? Isn't that what drew you both here? The possibility that you can transcend yourself with my assistance? Why would I want to transcend myself? I'm Superman. You were, but soon, my friend, there'll be a world of Superman. And you'll be a footnote in moldering history book. And they call me arrogant. Arrogance is a label that the weak use to condemn the strong. I tested your strengths, Moonrider, and you failed. Spectacularly. I'm more than willing to take that test again. Uh-oh! It's the weak who need it most of all. Albert? Not a holographic projection of some imagined ideal, but the real Jackson Albert. The one I've hidden so well from the world. Old, infirm, crippled. In short, everything you're not. But why haven't you upgraded yourself? I'm sorry to say that because of a certain genetic anomaly. A small percentage of the population can't be upgraded, and unfortunately, I'm among those group. Is that pity I see in your eye, Becca? I hope not. I certainly don't pity myself. It's my honor to do this work, to offer to others the opportunity that nature has refused me. Now come, it's time I gave you both the grand tour. I like this idea for this plot.
The cobbler's children have no shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Or what was the in Deus Ex? There was the father of the human augmentation.
Not sure.
Who created human augmentation, and that guy couldn't or her body couldn't be augmented, had to walk with a cane.
Right. I could see Becca buying it. My investigations indicate that beneath the flesh of the savage warrior is the soul of a hopeless, naive idealist. Our armies? Are you planning a war? But Superman, I suspect he saw Albert the way he saw everyone and everything. Just a figure of speech. An unfortunate one. This planet has seen more than enough war. As a doorway into its own self-aggrandizement, an opportunity to increase his own power and control. What do you think of him? He certainly talks a good game, but I come here from a world where lofty speeches were often used as smokescreen to hide more dangerous agendas. So you don't believe him? I'd like to. What does the Bible say? By their fruit shall you know them. Your point? Whatever I may think of Albert, I don't trust his forever people. There aren't any people who have been transformed beyond their wildest dream. Given time to adjust to the new paradigm, who knows what they could achieve? But we can talk more about that in the morning. Yes, well, good night. Where do you think you're going? To bed. You got that part right, but you're heading for the wrong bed. I thought you didn't want. I want what I want when I want it. So I'm what? Just a sex toy? Essentially. I can work with that. I suspect Superman manipulated Wonder Woman, took advantage of her naivete, and he must have done the same with Langstrom. While the other two were busy at the Eternity Institute, there were Batman signs in half a dozen cities, which was unusual since he was rarely seen out of Gotham, as if he was searching for something, but I've never been able to discover what it was. Ah!
Uh-huh. Need to remember when this comes out that to make a drinking game out of this. Every time we go to black.
Howard Barrison, what the hell? Welcome to your worst nightmare. What do you want from me? You're a very successful man now. Your firm is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. You've come a long way, haven't you? Since your days at the commune with the Harrys? I don't know what you're talking about. I think you do. Maybe he was on the Harrys. That's what they were called in Wonder Woman story.
Ah.
I didn't mention that much, but that's what the group was called. Maybe he was on a mission. Yep. Yep, like an obedient little dog he was. Now you're going to give me the information I need, or I swear I'll tear your throat out. I'm sorry, Barrison. You're not a criminal, and you don't deserve to be treated this way. I need you to tell me everything you know about Jackson Albert and the man they call Dr. Psycho. And turns out he is Psycho. Uncomfortable. He's in agony. The process can be, I know. You have to get him out. I'm afraid it's a little late for that. The Forever War. Like I said, Albert is Psycho.
And kind of like
Luther. Yep, Dr. Luther. We need to talk. You bypassed my security system. That's most impressive. I'm not here to impress you. If the media reports are any indication, you're here to make a meal of me. But I was under the impression you only fed on the criminal class. So you know who I am? Oh, yes. I followed the tales of the mysterious Batman with great interest. Most people, with the exception of the mobsters whose corpse you've left behind, aren't convinced about your existence. They think you're an urban myth. I, of course, know better. Sift through the hyperbolic reports, the blurry cell phone video, the surveillance tapes. The fascinating story begins to take shape. You've tried to fashion yourself into something resembling a hero, but I suspect it's not noble ideals that motivate you. It's just raw hunger. I'm not the monster they say I am, Doctor. I'm just a man named Kirk Langstrom. Is that supposed to mean something to me? I was one of your students. I studied with you for 3 years, and thousands of students have passed through my lecture halls, Mr. Langstrom. You can't expect me to remember them all. Now, what do you want? Ha! You know what? That always reminds me of my favorite line from Batman Beyond. You killed my father. You realize how little that narrows it down?
Yeah.
I love that line, so that's still one of my favorite villain lines.
Yeah. Kind of like it was Tuesday.
I want your help in finding a cure for your vampiric condition. No, in stopping Jackson Albert and his so-called forever people. Why would you want to stop a man who promised humanity an eternal, godlike existence, who vows to wipe out disease and poverty and war? Because he's a dangerous fraud. Well, 40 years ago, he was an underground chemist who called himself Dr. Psycho. His experiments on human beings left dozens dead and others worse than dead. Those accusations have never been substantiated. All evidence points to the fact that this Dr. Psycho died in 1967. I have new evidence. I have interrogated survivors of the incident at the commune and take your hands off me now! How could you not be concerned with what Albert's doing, what he's unleashing on the world? An honest statement coming from you. Albert, at least, is trying to improve the human condition. You, on the other hand, pose a more serious threat, and you're not the only one. I don't know the woman, but the man, he saved my life. He can incinerate people with his eyes. She could break a human being in half without breaking a sweat. Individually, they have enough power to take out an army. Add a blood-sucking superhuman man-bat to the equation, and humanity is facing the greatest threat it's ever known. We're not a threat. If you studied under me, Langstrom, then you're clearly a man of intelligence. Can you honestly tell me that we shouldn't be terrified of you, that you're not a trio of monsters capable of devouring us all? The information I've gathered indicates that the so-called Superman and, what do they call her, Wonder Woman, are not of this earth, but you're one of us. Stay here and I can help you to another time, perhaps. Interesting take on Lex. He's different, but not that different.
Yeah, it kind of makes the... What was the diverging point that made Lex go to here instead of the other direction?
Yeah, exactly. Basically, Elseworlds are a series of divergent points, not just one important divergent point.
Yeah. Then again, it could be there was a diverging point that went into one direction, but it also got a ripple that went this road, this way.
Oh, we already know it's a multitude. Like, for example, on here, it was New Genesis that was the crooked one, not Apocalypse.
Yeah.
I assure you, the pain will pass. Damn right it will. Superman, you all right? Superman, I swear to you, Albert, if he dies, if I die, it'll be your damn fault. I could feel the energy inside me growing, flooding my cells. It was intoxicating. You were in agony. I was transforming, and I would have. Why he never completed the process remains a mystery. But whatever stopped him, we should all be grateful. I hate to imagine the destruction that monster would have unleashed us if Albert had succeeded. It's always a good thing, obviously. I like these. We have this backwards, talking about everything. We still don't know who the person is yet.
Oh.
But yeah, they head back like, all I need is a little more time. I can't believe you hit me. I wasn't in my right mind. But you're still not. You're burning up with a fever. It'll pass. My recuperative ability are fairly miraculous, he said humbly. Humility was never my strong suit. Don't I know it? But miracle or not, you need to stay in bed. Albert's process nearly killed you. I'm fine. Now, if you'll let me get up, try it and I'll finish what the forever process started. Since when do you care so much? Since I saw the pain in your eyes while you were in the tank, it was like nothing I've ever experienced. I'm not accustomed to feeling weak, vulnerable. A little vulnerability is good for the soul. It reminds us that that we're not the gods we sometimes think we are. I'm not a god. I'm a man. If you want to help me quickly, I know just the way to. Don't let the other night go to your head, and Hernan. You don't expect it to happen again. Now rest. And what will you be doing while I'm stuck in here? I think it's time we learned a little more about our benevolent host. Uh-oh. You promised me eternal life, and you can still have it if I pay. My research is expensive, and God knows you can afford it. I've already given you millions, and I'm extremely grateful. But unless you pay for the next level of upgrades, your gene will turn toxic, and your deaths will be particularly gruesome. Oh!
It's that kind of thing.
I know. Yep. It's a concept. It's not a permanent.
Yeah.
It's like Lex said in Superman Doomsday. Turn the cancer thing into a lifetime treatment.
Yep. Yeah.
Ah.
Like, here's some free. Okay. They had to pay for it. Okay. There's the okay. The drug allegory doesn't work. Free drugs and okay. Withdraw the price. Now you need to pay for the rest.
Exactly. Oh, come on. There we go. Uh-oh, you bastard! I could kill you! You could, but you won't. I'm the only one who understands every phase of the process. Murder me, and you murder yourself as well. It's not fair! It's not! Another seizure, my dear? Why are you doing this? A question I've asked myself many times. Is it for the sheer intellectual thrill of it, or do I truly believe that my forever process serves the greater good? That we're all meant to transcend our limitations and become divine? Maybe it's just primal human greed that motivates me, or a combination of all these. I leave it to you, my pathetic friend, to decide. You're a genius, and genius can be a fragile thing. Oh, so he's making his way up there to find a cure. Still got ways to go. Bioscans indicate the threat has been neutralized. You look like hell. Maybe we should call it a day. No, I need a challenge, the challenge of a good fight. I'm going to get back on my feet. Actually, you're on your knees. Not for long. Now come at me. I've been beating the crap out of you for an hour now, Hernan. Do you really want to keep doing this? I guess you do. I understand, Hernan, more than anyone else ever could. Your entire life you've been impervious, indestructible, and now your legs are trembling. You're sweating like a pig. And underneath it all, you're afraid that you'll never be what you were before. But it's only been 4 days since I pulled you out of that tank. Give it a little more time and you'll be, shut up, bitch, and fight. What did you call me? That got you pissed enough to really let loose. And here's the good news. I almost didn't feel that. So I must be getting better. Sorry, that got you pissed. I almost didn't feel that. So I must be getting better. Did anyone ever tell you you're a total jerk? Should I list them alphabetically? Your strength's returning and your sense of humor too. All good signs. The medical team agrees with Wonder Woman. A few more days and you'll be back to normal. Perhaps abnormal will be more precise. And the upgrade? The process, I'm sorry to say, failed. Your alien physiology is incompatible with my genetic compounds. Damn. I understand your disappointment, since my own imperfect genetics make it impossible for me to upgrade. And maybe that's a good thing. Not for you, and for you, not for me. You two still have a part to play in this new world, if you're willing. Evolving into lives as metahumans is new to my forever people, and very confusing. But so basically, want to make him a teacher, but he doesn't want it. Like, you push yourself too far today. Get back to bed. You can leave tomorrow. Wise words from a wise woman. While you're resting, Superman, perhaps you'll reconsider my offer. We need you, both of you, more than you can imagine. You really, why are you really so agitated about all this, Hernan? Is your ego so sensitive you just can't bear the idea that there are others like us in the world now? Is that why you wanted the upgrade? To reassert your superiority? Maybe there's some truth in what you say, Becca, but it's not the whole truth. There's something very wrong here. With Albert, with this whole damn place? Come on, I'm not going back to bed. No, you're not. You're going to have a little reunion with an old friend. Those drones scanned me for my life sign. They were programmed to analyze human, which I'm not anymore. And you've been hiding here in the complex ever since? Skulking through shadows is what I do best. And while you've been recuperating, I've been hacking away, learning all I can about the Eternity Institute. And you knew? Kirk revealed himself to me a few days ago. When were you going to tell me? I'm telling you now, you idiot. And how do you two charmers know each other in the first place? Save me. Put me back together after my life had broken me apart. And I've never forgotten it. So you do have a softer side after all. It was nothing. Now tell me all what you've learned. Jackson Albert died on a commune in upstate New York more than 45 years ago. The man who took his identity was a former CIA scientist who called himself Dr. Psycho. You know him? I was there back in 1968, and I watched that soulless animal manipulate a group of naive young people and experiment with some of the coefficiency of a Nazi, turn them into monsters. I stopped his plan, but I didn't stop him. Psycho disappeared. And all this time it's been hiding in plain sight, using Albert identity to finish what I began all those years ago. Albert, and it's time I brought this whole damn place crashing down on your worthless head. Not me, precisely, Superman. One of my holographic golem. But never people are real enough. What do you think, Becca? A vast improvement over the burnouts I created when we first met, aren't they? You sick son of a bitch! Guilty on both counts. As for bringing this place crashing down on my head, I think it's going to be the other way around. So those are his rejects.
Yeah.
These are innocent people, beings corrupted by Psycho. We have to stop them without killing them. If we can, Becca, stop them without killing them? I don't think so. I'm gonna melt them into a steaming slag, you miserable Madre de Dios! They may have deluded themselves into believing that their intentions are noble, but the truth is they're simply eliminating the threats to their power, so they can continue to have power over us. Violence begets violence. Monsters beget monsters. And circle goes round and round to the end of the world. Welcome back, all of you. You've been unconscious for days, but take heart. I've taken full advantage of the time. As you can see, I stand here before you a young man. My cells regenerating, my form and conscious evolving even as we speak. And I have you to thank, Superman. The cell samples I harvested from you while you were attempting to upgrade made all the difference. Adding your DNA to my forever formula allowed my body to overcome it. So look at what he's become now. I've also mixed in DNA from the goddess and the bat. Oh dear.
Ui, ui, ui.
Oh, and look at that. All of it's forever people. Ah!
Kind of.
Come on. What you were saying?
Kind of thinking about the whole thing that they're the man-made forever people and not the fourth world forever people.
Yeah, well, except there were forever people. They're remaking the forever people. Oh, and this is Lois's inner monologue, but I am just one woman. And however far planet and NWZ.com can reach, it can't quite touch the heavenly realm where the deities live. But the voices of opposition were heard, and it led to escalating violence between the pro-God and anti-God movement. And that was nothing compared to what happened when the gods began warring against each other. Uh-oh. Because they all need me to survive. But the truth is, I'm growing bored with them. It's my own evolution that concerns me. There is something being born within me, something rare and ineffable that will... Up! Tell them Fastback sent you there. I'll have you out there in a moment. Thank you, Fastback. Don't thank me, just go and stop them. The Justice League was born.
Huh.
But the forever people are going to go to war with each other.
Yeah.
So we're in the last third. Soon enough, Jackson, I'll be dead. But I'll die knowing that your sick dreams will have died along with me. I was an idiot for following you, for buying to your delusion. If there's a better world to be made, we can't create it by abandoning human nature. We have to embrace it, find the very best in ourselves, and humanity's time is over, Fastback. The new age begins now. What the? Big Bear emerging as the victor over them. So we gather together, brothers and sisters, a new race that will rise up the old. There will be some, perhaps many, who will resist us, who won't understand our vision. The ordinary ones, the weak ones, and they will be left behind in the dust. Heaven isn't for in the dust. Heaven isn't for everyone. I've always seen myself as above them too. How can I not, considering who I am, what I'm capable of? But here's the thing. I was raised by the kind of ordinary people you intend to leave in the dust, and one of their lives is worth more than all of yours. Yes, neuter, yes, neuter the arrogant dogs, which is why we're stopping you here and now. Back, all of you. These two aren't our enemies. They were the first of our kind, and their compassion for the lesser ones is admirable. It'll make them valuable advisors, vital to our sacred cause. We're not here to join you. We're not here to kneel. We're here to ask you to stop the madness. And why would we? Because Surfan, in many ways, of all of you have just been born. Yes, you may be gods. It's amazing how well they know their abilities.
Yeah.
But their arrogance. That the forever people are the end point of evolution, or is your advice just and merely jealousy in disguise? Okay, Becca, we tried it your way. Now we do it mine. Take them. I gotta say again, I do find this an interesting story, but it then does the fact that there's still a prequel to the movie.
Nee.
That's where I feel like this is too big.
Yeah, this would have been like the movie before the actual movie.
Yeah, which I get it. It's 9 issues, so it's about the length of what would have been a movie. Well, 3 issues technically, but still.
Yeah.
But look at all that. You're not getting away, bastard! Although, to be fair, it is all being kept contained onto this, let's just say, new Genesis. Not New Genesis, but, this Haven. So I think that's what makes it different. It's all self-contained up there. My eyes! Enough. You blinded him because you're blinded by your own hate and arrogance and ignorance. We thought you were one of us. We were wrong. Won't be that easy, Moonrider, won't it? I am Viking, the living shadow. Oh, dear. No, please stop. The most powerful being on Earth, and look at you. You thought you were a god? Think again. Batman, idiot. I'm not one of your helpless victims. Oh, he gave him the cure through his bite.
Huh.
Look at that.
Oh.
Where's Big Bear? Sleeping forever, I hope. You see, my friend here reversed the effects of Albert's formula with an antidote delivered by his fangs. And via batarangs!
Huh. Yeah.
Just like that, it was over. In Tarenturum, I did with him later. Superman expressed his grief over the innocents who died on that terrible day in Mumbai. I wish there had been another way to save the world, Miss Lade, he said. I truly do. To which I replied, if you were the hero you pretend to be, you would have found another way or died trying. Ooh! He didn't answer, just turned and flew away. But the hateful look he gave me before he left haunts me still. But the thing is, though, she's right! They've all reverted to their normal form, but they're still in a coma. Give them time, Becca, and they'll be right back to killing each other. I'm afraid he's right, and I'm afraid you three will go back to your ways as well. As much as we all appreciate what you've done, the truth is you're as much a danger as the Forever people were. Probably more. You should take your own advice and find yourself another place, another world where you can't harm anyone except yourself. A threat? A warning. Well, then consider yourself warned in return. Lex knew things would only get worse after that, but he had no idea. That ungrateful bastard! You got to see it through his eyes. If I wasn't what I am, you two would scare the hell out of me too. We saved the whole damn world, Kirk, and most of the people out there understand that. Lex Luthor doesn't matter. What really concerns me is that Dr. Psycho's body has gone missing. Could be that Luthor's team took him for study before we got back to the Institute, but I didn't see fit to inform us. An interesting theory, but an incorrect one. You knew me as Jackson Albert and Dr. Psycho, but I have evolved considerably since then. What the hell is that?
Here we
Imperiex!
go.
He is now Imperiex!
Huh.
Brilliant idea!
Yeah.
Oh. Except that, yep. There we go. So, yeah. So now we're in the final third. My mistake. Now we're in the final third because that was up to 6.
Yeah.
I am Imperiex. How can that be Albert? We watched him die. He added our DNA to his Forever formula in order to accelerate his own evolutionary process, which means he's incapable of dying. Let's test that theory. I assure you that this violence is unnecessary. My goal, as it always has been, is to bring peace and order to this world, to bring forth a golden age. I am a god now. With a wave of my hand, I can... God, you were a sick, manipulative bastard when I met you nearly 50 years ago, Psycho, and you haven't changed a bit. I told you, Dr. Psycho is dead. Long live Imperiex. I do not want to do this, but if you choose to die here, so be it. What I choose to do, Monstro, is peel you out of that armor. And kick your arrogant ass. Despite all my mother's sermons, I've never been really sure if God really exists. But if he does, I bet good money he doesn't look like you. What the hell is happening? His descent. He's halted in midair. I've allowed you to have your little tantrum, to flex your muscle and pretend to be noble heroes, even if we all know that pretending doesn't make it so. But the time for these childish games is over. I have work to do, and I am to reshape this world, remold it in my image. Before I do that, it's a small matter of remolding you. You are powerful symbols. The power of the world look at you and see both hope and fear. Like I say, since we know what happened to Darkseid in the movie, the Imperiex is perfect in his place.
Yeah. Just thinking about considering how much more powerful the characters are compared to that movie's counterparts.
Yeah.
You think how much weaker is this then so that they can have a chance to fight against them.
But his attitude is still like Darkseid, though. That's what I like.
Yeah.
Look around, Becca. This world is heading for the inevitable and very ugly collapse. I offer humanity a future. It will resist at first, but given time, they will willingly accede to my control. Never gonna happen. Not only will it happen, Batman, but you three will be willing participants. Do we look willing to you? Gaze at these mountains and the world beyond. See as I see. Dream as I dream. And join me. What the hell is he doing? Crawling around like a serpent in our heads. Oh dear. And come, children. A new world awaits. Oh dear.
Huppist.
Superman, see to the planes. Oh boy, and loads of this summer, like there was a mass panic when Imperiex strode into the city. His 3 living weapons at his side. Oh dear, now I'm curious how they stop it.
Yeah. Also makes you wonder, how would this story have gone if you keep the antagonists, but replace Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman with the main Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman?
Yeah. I think they'd be putting more of a fight. I wasn't fully convinced that Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman were under Imperix's control. What if I wondered they joined him voluntarily? His desire to subjugate humanity in line with their own, and then realizing he was far more powerful than they saw changed their mind. When I interviewed her weeks later, Becca claimed that it was a sentient computer box called Motherbox that, with much effort, freed her consciousness. But we only have her own word for that. Well, we see it's true, but I see why Lois doesn't trust it. Again, why would she? Something changed at that moment. Oh, and why did Superman and Batman attack her then? Was it because they were still under Imperix's control, or because they knew they had to put on a good show for the cameras? Again, according to Becca, the mysterious mother box interceded, apparently releasing the other two from the giant spell. One thing I can't dispute, there was a strange machine that materialized in the air above them. Gods of the source wall. No! Because he took the mother box. Said it wasn't only Becca that screamed. More than a dozen people swore. This machine screamed too. He smashed it. Again, this is a good epic conclusion, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, of course, it damaged him. He killed her. He killed Mother. She's in shock. She better snap the hell out of it. Uh-oh. I think we may have pissed him out. Now that's an astute observation. Everyone out of the way before he... Boom! Ah, Becca! She and the box were psychically linked, and its death has torn her soul apart. You gotta get her away from Imperiex. Give her time to recover and leave you to face the lunatic alone? I don't think so, Hernan. I don't need you to, and I never did. Get her out of here. I'll be back, and by the time you are, this will be all over. Oh, look at that. I'll kill you, Imperiex Al. You'll struggle and flap your trembling wings like an insect. Too stupid to know that it's dying. But don't be frightened, Superman. I'm not going to kill you. You're too valuable to me. Until I can once again embed my consciousness in yours, I'll keep you for my personal collection. A precious specimen. Frozen body, mind, and spirit in cosmic amber. And now to find your friends. You've got to pull yourself together, Becca. Hernan needs us. Mother Box needed me and I failed her. All I have left is a single cracked shard and... Wait, the connection. So intimate, so deep. I know that you were somehow bonded to her, but no, I'm not talking about Mother Box. I'm talking about the 3 of us and Imperiex. There are echoes of his consciousness still floating in my mind, and we can use them against him. Hey, bastardo! It's not going to be that easy. You may be able to crush a world, but you can't crush Superman. Tomb! He keeps flying up. I beg to differ. The begging's just started, Imperiex. Imperiex, you, the weakest of the 3. Do you actually believe you could stop me? Short answer, yes. What are you doing? Much as it disgusts me, I'm a vampire. My specialty is feeding on people. And thanks to this last remaining fragment of the mother box, I'm gonna feed on you. I plunged that damn fragment into his head again and again, Langstrom later testified, and the box, what was left of the box, allowed me to sink psychic fangs into Imperix's mind. fighting him from within, draining his god energy. But the shard's power and was quickly waning. I knew I only had a limited amount of time. I also knew that the longer I kept the soul link going, the greater the chance that the Imperial psyche would devour mine, that I'd be lost inside his consciousness forever. And here's the ending.
No niin.
Thank God, Langstrom report continued for Becca. However shaken, however shattered she was, she found strength and will, focus, and battered Imperius, keeping him distracted, off balance, lessening his psychic grip on me. I dug in deeper, but Wonder Woman for all her power wasn't enough. Hernan, we need you! Imperius had torn Superman apart, and maybe if he had been alone, he would have given up. But we would have died there in Paraf. Oh. That's the second again? But he wasn't alone anymore. He was part of a team. 3 hands gripped the sword forged of New Genesis. 3 minds channeled by the mother box fragment fused their collective will to his blade, and together, we invaded Imperius' psyche. He collapsed the walls of his consciousness, reversed the upward flow of evolution, and the god once again became a man. Well done. But my enhanced formula is strong enough to regenerate me. In a matter of minutes, perhaps sooner, I'll be in Imperius again. He's right. Of course I'm right. I can feel it now. Cells repairing the very atoms of my body transforming. And when Imperius rises again, you 3 will shrink. Langstrom's account is, of course, suspect. Even the language is off. I have 2 reliable sources that claim his entire testimony was crafted by one of President Waller's speechwriters, which means we have no idea what really happened in Priapat or what actually became of Imperius. Was he depowered and taken to custody as the government claimed? If so, why was there no trial? And why was the man who once called himself Jackson Albert never seen again? Let's go home. Que diablos! We may never know. Stand down. Any aggression on your part will be regarded as an act of war against the United States, requiring a full retaliatory response. Who the hell are you and what do you want? We don't want to fight if we can avoid it. We need to talk, and we need to talk for the sake of the world. I'm President Amanda Waller, and I expect you already know that. The gentleman on my right is Colonel Steve Trevor of a recently formed agency called Argus. I believe you all are acquainted with my friend and advisor, Dr. Lucer. If you possess the so-called X-ray vision some claim Superman, then you can easily see that my vehicle is equipped with enough destructive power to level a city. So which will it be? Test our resolve or come quietly? My father raised me to respect the flag and all it represents, Madam President, so it wouldn't do to assassinate our commander-in-chief. Just yet. So the question of the day is, what do we do with you? You might try thanking us. We did just save the world. If your friend Dr. Psycho hadn't had access to your DNA, there never would have been an Imperius to save us from. So you're blaming us for what that lunatic did? Yes, even the rise of the Forever People can be laid at your feet. Once the world became aware of you, it was inevitable that there would be a misguided attempt to equal or surpass your preternatural abilities. The simple knowledge of your existence had poisoned the well of humanity. That's absurd, is it? Do you have any idea what it's like for average people to see 3 costume superhumans striding across the world, meting out justice as they see fit? You appoint yourself judge, jury, and executioner, and we're supposed to, what? Just sit back and applaud? I've heard enough. Becca, Langstrom, let's stand down, Hernan. What? I see President Waller's point. What? Look at us through their eyes. Don't start in on that again. And you are always different. But I was once one of those average human beings Waller was talking about. And if I was still that man, I'd want to see the 3 of us locked away, buried at the bottom of this mountain. You got it wrong, Kirk. The government may see us as a threat, but the people out there don't feel that way. I mean, I know the common man, maybe better than any of you. And to them, we're heroes. Really? Lois Lane reporting from the White House, where the protests are entering their 4th day. I'm here not just as a reporter, but as a citizen who stands in solidarity. And so they're seeing that they weren't heroes. My father, Sam Lane, wasn't a warrior. He was a physician. Oh, so he wasn't military, who traveled the world, risking his life in war zone, facing famine, disease, violence, and brutality in their most heinous form, all in the hope of easing human suffering. He never once pointed a gun or raised a fist in anger, and he died in service of humanity in the slums of Mumbai, buried under the rubble along with Superman's other victims. That to me is a hero, not a man who burns people alive with his eyes, or a creature that drinks human blood, or a woman who wields a sword that magically appears every time she faces something she doesn't understand. If we lock ourselves into a vision of the world where hideous violence is an acceptable form of problem solving, then that's the world we're going to get. And Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman are the heroes we deserve. But let's not fool ourselves. They're not heroes at all, and they're sure as hell not gods. They're monsters. What are you proposing? So yeah, they've agreed to make them the Justice League and work together. So you're saying they'll come to love us? I'm saying they'll fear you less. And if your intention really is to protect us, make the world a better place, then this pact of ours will be honored. Ah! Right near the end!
Yeah. I still find it kind of weird that that just 3 of them is called Justice League when it's
right, but that's also going with the movie.
Without the 4 remaining people.
But if we suspect betrayal, we feel the same way, Doctor. Remember that. I most certainly will. Good afternoon, Justice League. I feel like he's a lot more like Lex mixed with Maxwell Lord.
Pretty much.
I hate that man. He's not worth the energy. If you want to see hate, just look down there. The crowds are getting smaller every day. We're winning them over. It's not them I'm worried about, Becca. It's Waller and Luther. You worry too much, Manito. They think they can control us. They've got a lot to learn. We're getting used to seeing them, flying so high above us, expecting them to swoop down like angels and deliver us from evil. Even if I sometimes wonder if we've been too harsh in if I've been too harsh in my judgment, too cynical, too cruel. But then I remember my father and all that he stood for. I remember what a hero really is, and it makes me sad and so very determined to see those angels fall. So how was all that? I say it's reminding us what we could have gotten with this world. That again, it's a very complicated world.
Yeah, and this could have been the
start of
on its own.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but this also could. Yeah. Sorry.
This could have been the movie on another movie on its own. Maybe you could look at it like this: they probably had plans for this universe, and then they looked at scripts that they had and thought, okay, should we make a movie about this, or should we make a movie about this? And if we make about, but then we thought, if we need to tell this before we tell this, but this is this would make a better movie, so we should get this out.
Yes, that's what it feels like. That's exactly what it feels like. But again, though, also you would have had too much of the setup too, because how much is relied on the Wonder Woman one at least?
Yeah, could have been probably done the first 10 or 20 minutes could have been probably like Batman issue, if the issues one like Batman issue, Superman issue, Wonder Woman issue, Batman issue, Wonder Woman issue, and so on for the first 10 minutes, and then start the movie from like 15-minute mark.
Exactly, but still though, overall, again, I really like this take. That I wish more was done with it, because there's so much potential.
Yeah, not to mention
on this whole world.
Yeah, and not to mention so many absences. Like
yeah,
Wayne, like I said previously, Wayne Enterprises is not mentioned at any point.
No Themyscira.
Yeah, no Themyscira.
Now Kal-El is the only one we know about because he didn't get sent off.
Yeah, he wasn't even born because in this world's version of Krypton, they needed to just some fingerprint DNA to inseminate an artificial womb.
Which they know what they took from the burn stuff and then took the ball and ran with it, which I liked. Like I said, though, this was such an interesting world.
It would have been
I'll say this, Beckett's still my least favorite of the 3. I like her in some moments, but of the 3 of them, she's my least favorite by comparison because her character's so inconsistent.
Yeah. She would actually, you could say that she was one of the most heroic or trying to be more heroic, and with a better PR, she would have probably been better sold as a hero.
Of all the three of them, she is the most heroic, definitely, of the three. Like I said, though, Hernan was my favorite because of how complicated he is, even when he's the egotistical one.
Yeah. But then it's also the whole thing that the lack of secret identities and the humanities that they lack are what actually make the mainstream versions the more heroic version, because they can have the downtime in their civilian identities and then come back.
Oh yeah, it's a whole issue why Superman should never be Superman 24/7 ever.
Yeah.
Because that's what this leads to. That's what makes Clark so important. And look at what happened. It took Kirk being the one who keeps on saying, I'm the only one here that actually was human ones. So he's the only one that's, of the three of them, just like Batman, but it feels like this is something we never get with Batman because Wonder Woman and Superman aren't like this. But I think he would.
Nee. There's still the absences of certain characters is also kind of weird when looking at where are the other characters who could have also influenced this. Like they handpick certain characters to be in certain places and certain roles in leading up to.
Again, the whole point is nothing we know is consistent. The closest they have was New Genesis. That was the closest.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what happened with Brainiac in the short.
Yeah.
That was heartbreaking. And again, that proved how complicated Hernan is. Notice if you remember in that short, which we'll go over eventually, he offered to train him. It's like, you can learn your powers. I can't. So then it's too painful. I can take it away. Do it. And he heat visions him. But it's like, but you could tell he was broken. That broke him.
It was pretty justified euthanization in that sense.
Because again, he's too young and he's too powerful. And boy, Tara Strong really nailed it with that. Was as Brainiac there.
Yeah.
You really felt, and I loved it. You know what the other thing that proved was? You see him walking towards them. You see the people on the bus like, help us. He's like, they're fine. I don't need to help them right now. I gotta stop this. Which, to be honest, Superman would not have done that. Superman, he would have helped those people first, but the guy's being a realist. It's like, they're fine. If they were in danger, it was on the verge. If there was a fire ready to blow it up, then he would have moved it. But since they're just there, the bus isn't getting trashed. He was right. And that's what, again, I like about that. But I would say, though, at least in this comic, I didn't care for Becca. In the movie, in the shorts, I do. And I'll be honest, in the actual movie, Langstrom's the weakest in the movie. In my opinion. Probably because what we have him here, being the human factor, wasn't used as much in the movie.
Yeah. I'll try to probably do some kind of...
Well, we and I are both going to work on it, but we'll both look over it.
Yeah. We'll go over the shorts and then I'll do the reaction recording on it.
Yep.
That's mostly how I do the.
Hey, can I join you in for the reaction recording this time? If you can.
Yeah, if I can.
You know me, I'm
automatic, like how I do the whole.
Right. Because I've seen you do them for your little short, but the intro. I've never actually seen any of your reaction street, recordings.
Yeah, it's pretty hard because I can't exactly upload them to YouTube because of the copyright system.
No, I know. I'm just saying, it's just I always found it interesting to just watch it on Discord or something.
Yeah.
Is that what you do it on Discord?
The OBSing it.
OBS it? Gotcha.
Yeah. Now, mostly it's simple that I have to have basically so that I usually had it there, but since I moved the webcam to my other monitor, I just have the webcam showing me on this corner. There's the movie I'm watching is here, and there's the Pika Reacts banner here, and the movie is on the
right. But still, overall though, this whole entire project that they did here was an interesting one. This had so much potential, and it got wasted because no one understood it. It wasn't marketed well enough.
Yeah, marketing is one thing that most of the DC animated original movies that kind of fell in.
Because no one understood it.
Yeah, not to mention the previous movies, Wonder Woman 2009 and First Flight. Most of even with the flaws that they had, they were not marketed very well, and they didn't sell enough.
Exactly. But here, this one, it was even more confusing because people were like, "What's this? Why does Superman look Mexican? Why that's not Wonder Woman? And wait, why is Batman a vampire?"
Yeah, not to mention the movie's the DVD cover of the movie has the mainstream Batman standing on the top of the cover, so that you could be mistaken to believe that they are somehow also involved.
Like Injustice, there's going to be Injustice where the two are going to meet when they never met.
Yeah.
Again, but I think the other problem is people didn't understand about Elseworlds at the time. I think if there's any time to bring it back, it would be now. Since they're actually doing Elseworld movies, especially after Joker, I think now would be the best time to do it with people understanding the multiverse more. Now would be the best time to bring this back, but I doubt they will.
Yeah, this was pretty much like how people say that Watchmen came out too soon.
Oh, by the way, did you hear the animated movie's going to be split into 2 parts?
Huh.
Not surprising.
They could do so many other movies instead also. Like how how the Suicide Squad Isekai movie is coming out next month, and then there's the whole Yakuza League coming as a sequel to Batman Ninja.
Yeah.
And I have probably 3 or so years or 4 years that adapt Batman Child of Dreams instead.
Oh, Child of Dreams, or some of them. The other ones, like
Batman. The whole thing about Child of Dreams is also, I didn't even realize it until it was pointed out on a comment on the second video I made on it, that it was basically about toxic fandoms, because the villains in that in Child of Dreams were like fans who wanted to become the characters,
right?
That they were.
But again, overall, so okay, let's talk about each of. Before we go, let's just go a little bit further. What did you think about Langstrom? His backstory.
It's interesting to also when thinking about and comparing to the main Langstrom. He got a lymphoma at some point,
as opposed to lack of hearing.
Yeah, not to mention he never married Francine. Francine married.
So she wasn't there to help. So she wasn't there to help him. So there's the other divergence.
Yeah.
He had a family that we never knew. I don't think we ever know about his family in the original timeline.
No.
I could believe this. I could believe what we had here exists in both. I could believe that.
Probably.
Having a father who just was an engineer, a simple engineer, and then just doesn't understand him.
Yeah.
But then this whole blood-sucking thing, I would say he has the weakest of the origins by comparison. Would you agree with that? He has the weakest because
it's very something that just happened, and like I said in the beginning of the video, they just took Man-Bat and turned him into Morbius.
Yep, definitely. But now as for, we both agree, Hernan is the best one out of all of them. His is the best, where we agree, because it's showing, again, he's not evil Superman. Not even close. He's anti-hero, pure anti-hero. Like you said, he's like Manchester Black. This is the Superman Manchester Black wanted him to be.
Yeah. Or try to sell that this is what they were going to do. But even in that sense, there was also the kind of in Superman in both versions in the What's So Funny About Ruthless and in the Elite movie. There's in the end when Superman shows himself as puts on the performance and to scare him. There's the whole point where in the
he
comic
didn't want
at
it.
the very
He didn't
least,
want it. He didn't want it.
Yeah, it's basically like you can see that Manchester Black starts essentially crying because even when he didn't agree with what Superman was holding himself back and giving, even he saw that Superman was a good hero, someone to look up to, and he idolized Superman, and seeing him become.
He even said that. He even told that to him. I used to worship you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then now Becca, hers, let's be honest, was the prequel to the prequel. Hers was more important for the setup for the main story, and that kind of bothered me.
Yeah.
It's like hers was too much being needed for the main Justice League mini, which But at the same time, though, she's also the only one who's a more based off her established character, and her backstory was too tied into the movie. So it makes sense, wouldn't you say? Out of all of them, hers was the origin that was too much integrated into the movie for it to be discussed here.
Yeah.
But hers was interesting. But again, I thought their teaming up, their first major team up, that was, like you said, it should have been a movie.
It's like, yeah, that made the main movie itself pretty much turn into a sequel to a movie that most people missed. And that probably also hurt its chances of getting any more follow-ups. Because it's basically it's a story that started in the middle without any lead up to how we got here.
Well, but at the same time, though, you could also make the argument, we already know the world, and the whole point of this thing was to get the world to a point where people are iffy on this Justice League. And everything, and that's all you needed for the main movie.
Yeah, it also kind of suffered from the fact, like it kind of like with the boys situation, like there there were no villains for them to look better in compared to them and opposing and fighting.
I mean, even here with Imperiex, you could throw it right back in their face. It's like they said. If it wasn't for your existence, and that's the other thing is, these are the only three main heroic, superpowered beings. It's similar to Watchmen in that regard. There's elements of Watchmen here. Of having the superpowered beings who aren't pure good, or the costume beings who aren't pure good. You're going to get pushback.
Yeah. At the very least, there wasn't any like how the Avengers and the Civil War tried to make it be like, let's blame the firefighters for the fire they came to put out. Yeah,
exactly. But here though, you can also understand why they would blame them, because it is a case where, you come about the world, it's starting a superhero arms race, which is what would happen. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Especially with Becca and Hernan.
Sad but true.
So overall, if I was ever give a rating to this, I'd give this a strong 7 out of 10. It loses points because it wastes its potential. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, good idea, kind of execution.
But so eventually you and Pika and I are going to plan out how we're going to handle the rest of this crossover, but I really am looking forward to us talking about the actual movie and everything, because it is one of my guilty pleasure. It's an underrated movie. It deserves so much more.
Yeah.
And especially after going over there, I think that proves it, right? There was just so much untapped potential here that got squandered.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.